Ryan Anderson's done his best to challenge me. I've never had someone ask questions that were so ballsy and their sheer cluelessness. Okay, maybe Danielle, but not many more. It was like Ryan would get bored and just want to kill some time. Questions would begin, so theoretically, what if, or, so what you're saying is, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I just did 30 seconds ago. Congratulations. Speaking of what if, last semester in an industrial safety tutorial, I'm sure many of you were there, Dr. Amiot was covering HAZOP techniques, and he gave us an example of, he gave you an example of some automatic beverage dispensers that delivered ice, syrup, and water into a cup. The Dr. Amiot asked, pardon me, what are some what-if questions that would address potential failures or hazards with the system? And Ryan was first to answer and said, what if the syrup were accidentally replaced with benzene? Benzene? If he were studying history, he'd be asking, what if George Washington had been invisible and had a robot friend? In the CPSD ethics course, the professor was asking for suggestions that would you put in a code of conduct, and Ryan shouts out, know your shit. It's like a child hollering whenever it comes out into his hand. No editing between brain and mouth. And Ryan was also a sweatpants guy. If you see him in jeans and a regular shirt, you'd say, what's the matter, you got an interview today? I would imagine him getting up in the morning and saying, what goes with these sweatpants? I don't know, Ryan, maybe a TV remote and a can of beer? What doesn't go with them? Women and a job. Okay, that's enough. Some of these are just too easy, some of them not. Okay, second up is Nawaf. He's one of the... Nawaf. He's one of the Pacifico devotees, and he'll probably be heading there after the banquet tonight. He's a wild man on the dance floor, although I suspect he's given himself this nickname, so it doesn't really count. He is known as the Brown Beast. Actually, I hope you did give yourself that nickname, otherwise it's pretty racist. Nawaf, I know that you're convinced that you're a great dancer, but from what I've heard, your moves consist of hopping on one leg and rubbing up your ass against it. You know, I used to have a dog that did that to the carpet, but he wasn't a great dancer. I don't really know Amar very well. He's quiet, he keeps to himself. He seems like the kind of guy who would say nothing for 4 years, then come into school one day and kill us all.
Oh, he's on here.
My only real connection to Amar was a co-op advisor.
But he probably will kill everyone.
The first time he submitted a co-op report to me, I'm not kidding, it was like held together with string and tape. The figures were hand-drawn. I wish I were kidding. I I remember thinking last time I saw a piece of crap that big, the circus was in town. And when I handed it back to him, he was like, what's your problem with this? What? Ranked and Kareem are my favorite couple in the class. They're the only couple, of course. But they're getting married this summer, and I wish them all the best. Ragda's very sweet, very bright, and the night before an exam, she mumbled stuff in her sleep about the exam coming up. So I'm told. I told Kareem last week that he's a lucky man, but I also admire him. He's so comfortable with his own masculinity that he's not afraid of marrying someone way smarter than he is. I have to admit that of all the loud, obnoxious guys who are habitually late for class, Isaac is my favorite. One thing you can say about Isaac, at least he's not his cousin the Jeep. That's a little too inside, I guess, but in the design presentation last December, Isaac said, "We adjusted the flow rate until the thing turned blue." Somehow, his group ended up with a C. I don't know how.
Thanks, Isaac.
Steve Penny went to high school with them and said that in the yearbook, Isaac is down for best dressed, most confident, most arrogant. He used to drive Steve into school from Bedford every day, but constantly complained about it and held it over Steve. Eventually, he even got Steve to do stuff for him. Like assignments.
Not hard to hold stuff over Steve.
Watch it, Kurt.
Isaac he's had bad jitters before tests and presentations. And I've tried to tell him this is quite normal because he sucks. He just doesn't know anything. There was a story about all the guys in this group going over old tests before an open book exam. And it turned out that one of the questions on the exam came off of one of the tests they had. And they all aced the question, except for Isaac. He can't even copy properly. My favorite story about Isaac, aside from him getting sucker punched at the palace, that is my absolute favorite. My second favorite, then, has to do with being interviewed for a co-op job. Isaac, Steve, and Amar were sitting, waiting to be interviewed. Steve and Isaac are looking at Amar saying, "Who's going to hire this guy over?" Of course, Amar got the job. And then he wrote a crappy report about it. Melanie Holmes is here tonight. And although Mel isn't in the program anymore, she does teach an undergrad course. I looked at my notes from 2008 when she graduated. I didn't have much to say about her. I said then that one thing I liked about her was she's an engineering student who can actually write. And I busted on her for dating a guy who looked like he was in the 10th grade. So she likes younger guys, big deal. Although, this could be good news for Jordan. Although, frankly, I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. Somehow I don't see anything working there outside of a scenario that involves a chloroform rag. Jessie McNeil is the stranger who showed up in September to finish the last year of her degree. She was on track to graduate with Melanie in 2008, took 2 years off to hang out in Calgary. Nothing wrong with that. Consequently, the class doesn't know her as well as most of the others. Someone said, there's not much on her. She doesn't really stand out. She does get really drunk. Now, I don't think she really does get that really drunk. I've certainly never seen it. On our ring night, she was sober enough to fend off a mean. For those of you who don't know, Amin is the Norwegian-looking guy who tries to pass himself off as Palestinian. As I said, I've never really seen Jessie drunk, and to say otherwise would be slander. I'm sure she doesn't overdo it all that often. But I must say that in general, I do like girls who get really drunk, and not for the reasons you might think. It's just because they're easy to buy for. You can either buy a big bottle of bourbon or a small tube of herpes medication.
Nice.
Now, on the other hand, I can tell Paul's so proud. Yeah. Now, Laura Payne, on the other hand, is teetotal. She's very involved in her church and active in Engineers Without Borders. Laura, you're not making life easy for me. Someone said that her big vice is that she's sometimes late for class. That's great. I hate you. Duncan Blakey is a favorite of mine. He's a very bright guy.
Hey, Duncan.
I hear gets easily bored. I'm told he hates being at school and will head home if he's given half a chance. I know he was put into a bit of a panic when they started drug testing for work. Stoner, big stoner. At least we know now what he's running home for. That's it. But that's okay. You know, if you have an IQ of 150, you can afford to give away 10, 15 points, no problem. But there's no excuse for Steve Penning. Unlike most of the guys he hangs out with, Duncan hates sports. You know, Steve and Chris Sims like the Montreal Canadiens. Sean Sobey likes the 49ers. Isaac is a degenerate gambler. They all like sports. Duncan has no use for them. He sees them as a waste of precious time. He could be ripping a bong load. What else can I tell you? He switched from getting his coffee at Tim Hortons to Starbucks because his girlfriend works at Starbucks and gives him a special discount. So some of the guys think he's kind of cheap. When he saw the tickets for the banquet tonight were $25 a piece, he balked a little. But in the end, he tightened his belt and he came. Just like David Carradine.